I talked for like 10 minutes straight and I forgot to hit record. Is PayPal really now in Nigeria, guys? Let's find out. On the 15th of March 2021, Flutterwave announced that they have partnered with PayPal. It garnered massive reactions from a lot of people. They were the number one trend on Twitter. So many blogs, so many articles sprung up about them, and everyone had their hopes up. Many people were asking questions. So in this video, I'll be answering most of the questions that you might have. We're talking about one of the biggest payment platforms in the world that has over 377 million global accounts. Are they now letting Nigerians receive payments after like 14 years of blocking us? For sure, this Flutterwave partnership means that they are letting many Africans receive payments now. This could be a huge deal, and I'll explain why in a bit. If you're interested in mobile technology, financial analysis, general personal finance tips, do consider giving this video a like, give it a thumbs up so that more people like you can see this analysis that we're going to share soon, and consider subscribing to the channel. You know what it is. Without further ado, welcome to the third episode of Finance Friday. In 2007, PayPal announced that it would be expanding to more African countries. It listed a huge number of African countries, but 3 were prominently missing in this list: Nigeria, Ghana, and Egypt. According to a World Bank blog, while many countries were under the send, receive, withdraw slogan of PayPal, no other African country, individual or business account had that opportunity. And in fact, we could only send money. When people asked PayPal for a direct reason why we could only send money and not receive money, the official response was mostly the same. It was due to the complexities of global expansion. However, analysts believe that it could be one of 3 reasons. The banking system in some African countries were not so good. The government was trying to control foreign exchange, which we've talked about multiple times on this channel. And the third reason, prominent reason actually, is internet fraud. For African people, there was a massive sentiment that they could only take our money, but we can't receive any money, we can't receive anything. In fact, there was a petition that was raised that PayPal should allow Nigerians have accounts to pay for stuff and receive payments. This was when we had no interaction with PayPal. Nigeria is a huge market, and being shunned like that was sort of difficult for most people. Since then, they actually listened and opened up the service a bit. In fact, in 2014, they tried to allow inflows very briefly, but merchants were not included. Since then, we've seen services like Zoom come up to help, but nothing really happened. Even Flutterwave, which we'll be dissecting later in this video, tried it with their Rave platform in 2017, but it fell flat. 14 years later, the case for the most part was still the same. Nigerians, many African individuals, businesses residing in the continent could not receive or even withdraw money either to a bank or via credit card or debit card. It was only South Africa, I believe, and Kenya that had many accessible features of PayPal, where they could in fact receive and withdraw cash into their bank account. Some other African countries needed a Visa card or a US bank account to withdraw, like Egypt and Algeria, and about 5 others. All of that happened, and some of it still happens until now. So is PayPal really now in Nigeria? Now guys, this section of the video might not be what you hoped for, but stick around to the end for my experiment. It was quite interesting. So, can Nigerians now receive money via PayPal, as you may have been asking? I don't want to sound like the YouTube guy that tells you to stick around for long, but trust me on this. Okay, we've had a really awkward start to the year 2021 as Nigerians, where our central bank effectively banned cryptocurrency. The Central Bank of Nigeria went further to create a Naira for dollar scheme, where for every $1 you receive as a Nigerian, you get 5 Naira. And I explained it in detail why the CBN is doing this in my previous Finance Friday video. You can watch that with the link in the description. I explained the implications, what it really means, so you can watch that when you're done with this video. It was very insightful. But the rules don't apply here, really. You see, PayPal in the US, UK, and Canada, many developed countries, have access to PayPal's full services. Just go to the country pages of PayPal. I'll leave it in the description. When you click on Nigeria and you scroll down, you only see that you can send money. You can't receive money. And when you scroll down on the US page, there's almost nothing that you can't do with with PayPal. You can even buy cryptocurrency with PayPal, something that the Nigerian government has effectively banned. Now, it's March 15, 2021. Flutterwave makes a huge announcement that they've partnered with PayPal to enable Africans receive payment from their over 377 million customers, as I mentioned earlier. PayPal in 2020 had a huge $936 billion payment volume, which was practically nearly $1 trillion. Africa, for the most part, was excluded, but that's what Flutterwave is trying to solve. In this same 2021 March article, the fine print reads that Flutterwave merchants in Kenya, South Africa, Egypt, Morocco, Mauritius, Malawi, Mozambique, and Senegal are able to easily accept payment from PayPal users worldwide. Do you see how this doesn't include Nigeria? Bummer. But this video is not over yet. This video is far from over. It just didn't make sense to me that Nigeria wasn't included. So I did what any normal human being would do. I created a Flutterwave merchant store platform and I tried to pay with my PayPal to my Nigerian merchant account. Did it work? Here's what happened. So I may or may not have lost some money, so please hit that like button so we can get that money back. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Hit that like button, let me know if you like this video so far. Alright, I went into the dashboard. I confirmed PayPal as a payment method for my company that I created, and I created a payment link. So think of me as a Nigerian business trying to receive money in USD or dollars from PayPal. So once I created my product link, I now made a payment. I paid for a YouTube page to myself that cost $2 by myself for myself. You get the idea. Anyway, after payment via PayPal, I got a receipt as the payer both from Flutterwave and PayPal. Then as the merchant, I got a new successful transaction email that I have received $2. Now, when I open up PayPal, I see that I have a notification of a $2 transaction collected for me or my company, in this case, by Flutterwave. Keep this in mind, it doesn't show in my payment received section of PayPal, as you can see here, because I'm not allowed to receive money via PayPal, right? But it shows in my transaction summary on my recent activities tab. Now, further dissecting this transaction, it shows in the payment status as completed. It also shows that payment was sent to Flutterwave or FLW Commerce. So this simply means that, and as you already know, PayPal is only a middleman or payment method to move money from a PayPal customer through PayPal to you here in Africa via Flutterwave. So Nigerians cannot receive money via PayPal, but Flutterwave merchants that are in Africa can receive dollars via the Flutterwave store. Moving on further down, we see that the contact information is flutterwave.com/KE or Kenya, which is an African country. This is complete with the email address and the kind of debit card that the customer that paid used, in this case, me. However, on getting to the Flutterwave dashboard here, I see that I have nothing showing in my transactions for about 15 minutes, and I later see a transaction that looks like this. When I click the transaction, I can see the transaction ID, the fees, the customer information. I can see the device fingerprint of the customer and their IP address, and I can even go as far as blacklisting the customer. And on the right side, I can see the timestamps or what exactly the customer was doing and how the transaction was making progress in a second by second or minute by minute interval until the transaction was completed, which is dope. When I went to my balance section, I saw how much it was left in my holding balance, which is the amount I will get after fees from PayPal. It's not moved to my available balance yet, which means I can't spend or withdraw it just yet. As a freelancer or e-commerce person that you are, you will only need to have your Flutterwave link to your payment method. They will simply click on that link, pay via PayPal, and you have your cash right into your Flutterwave account. This changes a lot of things. As a Flutterwave merchant now, the PayPal transaction fees of 4.4% of the transaction value plus 30 cents applied to you. However, that doesn't fully check out because I was only charged 4.4% of the transaction fees after getting $1.9 and was not charged the 30 cents. That will mean I'll have $1.6 left. But then again, this payment is still held in my holding balance and has not moved to my available balance just yet, as at the time of making this video. But do follow me on Twitter after this. I'll have updates on everything that will transpire. This is an experiment. I wouldn't expect you to try this out. As I said, I'll have more updates. However, if this goes through, it will open up African businesses to the world. I, for one, who has designed as a freelance graphic designer, have struggled with receiving payments for the longest time. Many payers don't like using Payoneer, even though it was the next best alternative. This might also be limited to businesses. I registered as a business, and it might not be available for individuals right away, but it's worth looking into because now all you need to do is just generate a link. I made a video about my streams of income and tips everyone should know about starting and running a business online to earn about $500 a day. You can watch that with a link in the description below. And in that video, I touch on why it can be beneficial to create and register a business, especially here in Nigeria as a freelancer. Many analysts see PayPal and Flutterwave partnership as a major stepping stone for Africa, especially African businesses, and one way for PayPal to minimize the complexities of global expansion, as they stated. Flutterwave is already a business leader in this regard. They are currently valued at $1 billion, making them the first Nigerian unicorn after they recently raised $170 million for expansion. Flutterwave has also raised $35 million in the recent past in 2020 for their Series B, as well as $10 million in the Series A in 2018. They have over 290,000 merchants. They launched their new mobile app for Flutterwave. They also have Barter, which I've mentioned in my previous videos about making dollar payments from Nigeria. Since they started operations, they've carried out over 140 million transactions worth $9 billion worldwide. They especially cater to the e-commerce or business side. According to analysts, e-commerce is expected to reach $29 billion by 2022 in Africa alone. It will be quite bad if PayPal misses out on this. What are your thoughts about this, guys? Do you think this is the right move for PayPal at this time? Is PayPal going to eventually enter Nigeria after a while with Flutterwave? Or if you're from countries like Kenya and you're watching this, or the aforementioned countries I mentioned that have direct partnerships, have you tried using PayPal or Flutterwave as a merchant? Let me know how that goes for you. Let me know in the comment section below. Do drop a like on this video if you found it useful, and please hit that subscribe button and turn on notification by hitting the bell icon beside it so you'll be the first to know when I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in my very next video.